When you hear that 80% of women want 20% of men, how does that make you feel as a man? I know mostly men are watching this. So how does it make you feel? Go ahead and think about it. I'm going to give you my response. There's pros and there's cons. Pros of it, hey, more girls for me. Because I feel like I'm in that 20% of men. I can't guarantee it. I can't, prove stats and facts that I am, but I feel like I am. And the reason why I have that mindset of hey, good, more for me, is because as a guy who does this full time and coaches men to get in that 20%, or at least just have some options, is because I know that most men don't try. So most of their lack of success in dating is self-inflicted. So in today's video, I want to talk about some ways you can get in it and some ways to identify if you are an 80% guy, as in you're not getting chose. Let's get into this video. The first point I would like to bring up is how can a guy like you break into that 20%? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the basics. Number one, don't be fat. I'm sorry, you know for a fact a torta thick ass girl can get way more attention than a very thick man with tits. You know this is true. So I'm not a dietitian. This is defund simping. I'm not a weightlifting coach. But if you can start tracking calories and walking more, you can shed that weight. Number two, don't be broke. Now, easy for me to say because I'm successful with online money, but what I want you to do is go on Indeed right now and let's just see if you can find a job that pays you more money than what you're making right now. I guarantee it. Here's the thing. You may not like doing it. Suck it up. And the reason why I believe men who are dead broke, who are in that 80%, is because, dude, if you have to worry about where your next meal is coming from, how can you go on a date with a girl? If you're worried about, hey, I may not have a roof over my head, that type of stress, it makes you a different person. I honestly think I don't know the stats on this, you take a guy that's relatively okay financially, and you take a guy that may or may not be evicted this month, their mentalities are so much different. I'm not gonna lie, it'd be hard for me to approach girls knowing that I may be evicted in a week. I'm just being real. It may be difficult for you to date and be in that mindset of being this player type of guy when you know you're getting evicted or you know you're going home to a refrigerator with no food in it, right? So if you're a guy watching this, right, and your version of living check to check is you have your basics, your rent is guaranteed to be paid, you have groceries, you can live a decent life, you're not balling, you're in a much better place. I'm talking about the guys who are dead broke, where it's they have to freaking have to ask their mom for an extra $200 this month for rent, right? The next way to break out of that 80% of undesirable guys is you have to start being a lot more arrogant with your dating life. Let me explain. I'm a cook on this one. So when you see a girl and you think she's attractive, what do most guys do? Damn, she's cute, and they keep walking. Why? Because they don't have the confidence to walk up to her and say, yo, what's good? Another layer is they think that girl is better than them. So they're like, why would she want me? I don't even like me. So why would she choose me, right? Another layer is, oh, this cute girl, why would she choose me when she can choose a millionaire or a billionaire, right? You're just putting all your insecurities onto her, and you're simping because you think this girl is better than you. You don't know what that girl is going through. That girl could have almost, committed this morning. You don't know how insecure that girl is. But again, that's how a lot of guys think, right? So when you're a very unconfident person, you almost take yourself out of the dating market, voluntarily, because you think every single girl you see that's attractive is better off without you. Every attractive girl I see, I genuinely believe I can make their life better. Every girl I meet, there's something that they're doing that I can help them with. One girl's like, oh my God, I don't want to break into content, but I don't know how. I'm like, I know a guy. Oh my God, I like making content, but I can't edit. I know a guy. Oh my gosh, I'm struggling with my budget. Here, let me take a look at your finances. I can help you. This happens all the time with girls I'm dating, is where I can help them with something in their life. I add value outside of my personality and this, you know what. So when I see a girl, I go, yeah, like she would benefit from being with me. But a lot of you guys see a girl and think, nah, why would she be with me when she can be with somebody else, richer, taller, more handsome? See what I just did there? Taller, more handsome, more money. You think you're inadequate in every single area. And that's a problem. So you're never gonna break into that 20% of men because you don't even see yourself as a 20% guy. It starts off with a thought. Some of you guys are waiting for money and status to make you feel like you deserve the 20% spot. But in actuality, it starts with the mindset, right? Guys, I'd argue I wasn't getting the best treatment until 4 years ago. I feel like 4 years ago is when I finally got into my groove, right? But guess what? I was still kind of broke. No, I was broke. I was broke 4 years ago, right? I was probably making $4K a month. It wasn't good. But hey, I still went out to clubs and bars, approached girls, went on dates. I still did my thing regardless, right? But if that girl looked at the food menu and she was like, actually, I'm kind of hungry. I'm like, oh my God. Because I knew my checking account had like $70 in it. Of course I had savings, but I wasn't gonna dip into my savings account for some random girl I met on Bumble. You feel me? So a lot of guys are taking themselves out just by having this type of mentality. The next way to break into that top 20% man, you may not like this one, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Treat yourself like you are a high-end product. What does that mean? Okay, let's start with hygiene. How do your teeth look? If you look in the mirror, bro, and your teeth are yellow, there's white strips, there's Zoom whitening at the dentist, right? You can make your teeth look more presentable. Okay, let's go to your face. Does your face look like a boiled egg? Lose the weight. Let's go to your hair, right? Now, hair, everyone's style can be different. I don't want you to go too niche. Like, don't get dreadlocks or don't get like cornrows. If you want to do that, go ahead and do that. But find a haircut that has more appeal to all women opposed to a niche set of women. Then to your physique, right? If you're built like a pear, clothes don't look good on you. I'm just gonna keep it a buck, right? So do your best to lose weight and get the V taper where you have a small waist and broad shoulders. This is gonna help you look a lot more attractive in all of your clothes, right? Now, the next thing about treating yourself like a product is, how are you presenting yourself online? Guys, I'm sorry to say this, you already know this, we're living in a digital age. People aren't meeting from social circles like they used to. Back in like 1930s, you know, your mom met your dad from a friend of a friend. People were constantly setting each other up with other people, right? No DMs, no cold approaching. Hey, my friend, you would like my friend Sally. Sally, meet my friend Bob. That's how a lot of this went down 50, 60 years ago. But nowadays, people are meeting online. And most of you, as you know, don't have the biggest balls to approach that random girl. So you're banking on a match on Facebook dating, Hinge, Tinder, Bumble. However, your photos are old. They're really bad for most of you. And I know this because I do this full time. I'm looking at profiles almost every single day, and a lot of guys neglect their online image. So when I say treat yourself like a product, imagine you were launching a new product, which is you. If you were launching a product, you would get some good photos for it. The website looks good. That's how I want you to treat yourself. Treat yourself like a product. And that's what I did. And that's why I'm able to get 2, 3, sometimes even 4 matches a day on a dating app. That plus meeting women in person, you'll never be lonely. I'll put it to you that way. So treat yourself like a product. If you do all of those things I talked about, you can break into the top 20% of guys. All these girls are yapping about, all these girls are trying to date. You can be that guy. And hey, listen, if you do it, you will become it. Now let's talk about the 80%. This is the guys that are never gonna break out of it. These are the traits that they have. And hopefully I don't describe you, but if I do, get out of it and work your way towards the 20. Let's talk about the 80%. The guys who are in the 80%, what they do so well is they cope so much. I'll say things like, hey man, You should approach more women. And they'll say, why? What's the point? Women nowadays are this, and they're going to say I sexually harass them, and they're going to reject me. I'm like, bro, how are you supposed to get better at this when you're always trying to cope and have a negative mindset, right? I'm going to put those two together, coping and having a bad mindset. Guys, dating is unforgiving. You think women are going to feel bad for you that you're in the 80%? No, they're not sympathetic at all. I see videos every day of women taking the knife and shoving it deeper. They're like, yeah, you men are lonely? Good, you aren't lonely enough. Oh, women only want 20% of men? It's probably less than that. I don't like most of you men. Like, most girls are not sympathetic to your struggle in the slightest. So the more you cope, the more girls for me. Right? So since I told you that women don't care, there's no point of holding this victim type of mentality, right? If you don't try with your dating app photos, then you're not going to get swiped on. If you don't approach women in public, you're never going to meet that girl that you saw on the street. So if you're not getting matches and you're not approaching women, you're done. You're like, I don't like being a pessimistic person, but if that's your mentality, I'm not going to change my dating app photos. I'm not going to try to get a photo shoot. I'm not going to try and approach girls in person. You're done for. And girls are not going to feel sorry for you. Your sister, your cousins, no one will feel sorry for you. They will step over you and go over to a guy that has 10 other girls around him. They much rather deal with that guy than you. And it's a sad truth, but that's the problem with the 80% guy. Some of them even think that they're owed something. Hey, I'm not the brokest, I'm not ugly, I'm not this, I'm not that, bro. They don't care. The 80% place is very unforgiving, and I don't want you guys being there because it sucks. Because this is what happens. When you stay in the 80% for too long, what happens is you find content that says, bro, you're not the problem. It's your location. You need to go to Colombia. You're not the issue. You're just a short guy in America. Dating is rigged against you. You should go to a place like the Philippines or Thailand where the average height for a guy is your height. Therefore, you'll do better. Or worse, you'll find content that said, nah, women are the problem. You need to go your own way. You need to do crazy things, right? And that's what happens when you stay in the 80% for so long without any type of change. You find content that doesn't motivate you, it demotivates you. It makes you feel good in your pity and your sorrow. And they say, nah, bro, it's not you. You're not the problem, bro. Dating shouldn't be this hard. Well, guess what, bro? It is. It is this hard. I'm not saying it should be, but listen, all I'm doing is looking at the game and I'm playing. Some guys look at the game and go, nah, I'm gonna stay back. Listen, if that's you, if you're the guy that looks at the game and goes, nah, I'm gonna stay back, cool. But at least there's videos out there like this that are trying to pull you up, because the longer you sit in 80%, the harder it is to get out. And eventually you start finding content that basically allows you to stay there because they're saying it's not your fault, it's not your fault. No, bro, it is your fault. I believe every guy, unless you have severe autism or deformities, right? Other than that, you can be successful with women. It's so doable. And for a lot of you guys, since you've been losing for so long, you almost think there's no hope. And I hate when men have that mentality, because it's like, damn, I get why they think that, because they've been losing for so long. But I'm here to tell you, I've been able to help guys who go from 2 dates per year to 2 dates a week. And I've done it over and over again. And they've been short, they've been tall, they've been dad bod, they've been skinny. So I know what I'm talking about. For a lot of you guys, a new mindset and a new dating app profile would change a lot. If you can talk to me one-on-one, where I can change the mindset and get you a new profile, you will see exactly what I'm talking about. Because I tell you to treat yourself like a product that you're launching on the market, and you're gonna get a bunch of new customers, AKA girls interested in you, and you're going dates after dates after date after date, and you're like, wow, he wasn't kidding. So to conclude today's yap about the 80-20, the 80-20 does exist. If anything, you could argue it's even less. 90% of women want 10% of guys, whatever, and they don't care. Women will gladly keep making the line thinner and thinner and thinner to 8%, 5%. They don't care. So since I'm telling you they don't care and you know they don't care, what are you going to do about it? Because the more you complain about the standards women have, the more you complain about the position that you're in, you're going to go deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole to where you're packing your bags and going to Thailand. You're packing your bags and going to Colombia because you think those girls will love you more. Okay. Well, you boys have a wonderful rest of your day. And if you're somebody that is like, Chad, you're right, I want to join that 20%, and how can I get started? I do have a link down below where you watch the video so you know what it's all about. And I'm going to teach you how to attract your ideal 10 in just 8 weeks. I'm doing this now for 2 years full time. I love what I do, and I can't wait to make you the next best testimony. You guys have a good day. Talk to you soon. Peace.